Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? My draw Raja, welcome in. Execute stream 66, nice. What's going on, guys? How's everybody's weekend? Alright, good, I think we're good. Paint here. Alright. You guys ready to test some colors with me? We're gonna try something. Try some combinations, and that actually makes me think I need to grab some stuff. Okay. I have 2 minis I want to use as a test. Family's heading back from PA a few hours to be. Oh, good. They had at least a good trip, visiting family and everything. How you been holding up, man? You eating a lot of takeout, or are you cooking yourself? Okay. So these 2 models represent something with my color scheme. Oops. I don't know if you guys can see it super well on camera, but I have this red on the Space Marine here is like my classic clear red over Vallejo metal color gold. Excuse me. With all my varnishes and everything. That's how this ends up. This little rifleman here, little Solar Ox, is contrast Blood Angels red over white gold. It's Pro-Core white gold, so it's these 2 colors here. It's obviously a much more desaturated color, and I want to see if there's a way that I can make this Blood Angels red look a lot more like this red here with the end result. That's what we're trying to figure out tonight. And I'm going to be using my scouts right here to hopefully try to figure that out a little bit. Grandma's not doing well, so I want to get some time in. Cooking, hanging with father-in-law and brother-in-law. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad they got the time. That's good. That's really good. I'm doing well. Yeah, it's been a nice weekend. Went to a tournament yesterday, which was a lot of fun. Very relaxed tournament. But it was a good time. And then today, yeah, just spent time with the family. It was a beautiful day outside, so we just got to hang out. And it was really nice. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do first. Yeah, let's try it. 2 and 1. Yes, yep, that was Middle Earth SPG went 2 and 1. What's going on, Crucial? So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a couple different metallic colors here. We got light bronze, I'm going to grab some bright gold, and I'm going to grab rich gold. This is what we're going to try out this evening, or at least right now, and I'm going to see if any of these helps me to get a nicer red. We'll see. Back and forth while here. Okay, cool. So yeah, I ran my dwarf army. The only real two real usable armies I have for Middle Earth are my dwarves and then the Fellowship of the Ring. So I ran my Fellowship the last event I went to, which was 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. 2024. I don't know when that was in relation to now. It was a while ago. That was the last event I went to for SBG. So I ran Fellowship there, and I did literally as good as I could have done. No exceptions. Like my dice were perfect. I made good decisions, but my dice were perfect. So it worked out perfect, and I won all 3 of my games, won the tournament. It was awesome, and all that was a thing. So I brought my dwarves to this tournament, and this is actually a new edition of the game. And until about last month, I had not played a game of this new edition. So I wasn't super confident in like some of the nuances. Now, a good thing about Middle-earth is if you ever played Middle-earth at any point in its history, then and you understood the rules when you played it, then you will understand 95% of the rules as they exist in their current form. So that's nice. But it's the 5% that makes me not as confident in actually winning games. But I think I've talked about this before, where I don't usually take like super try-hard armies. Like in the army building step, I build, I bring what I think is fun and what I enjoy, and then when I get to the table, I play as hard as I can. Like I play super sweaty when I'm actually on the table playing the game, and that's how I like to operate. I don't like to bring an unfun list for someone to play against, but I will absolutely try to win when I'm at the table. So I brought my dwarves, and they are the Kingdom of Khazad-dûm, if you are wondering which flavor of dwarves I brought. So my army represents Khazad-dûm, which is later called Moria, at its height. So right at its zenith, right before they discovered the Balrog, and all of that. So super cool. The original, original Extra Crispy. They're the Extra Crispy at this point after fighting a Balrog. What's going on, Misfit? How you doing? Welcome in. I'm getting these shoulders. We're testing shoulder pads before I move on here. So in my army of 750 points, this is really like the average. I'd say it's probably the average of a Middle-earth tournament is about 750, between 700 and 800. Deadshot, welcome in. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the sub, Deadshot. Misfit, I am testing some ways that I could possibly get Blood Angels Red Contrast to look more like my clear red paint. That's what we're doing. And so far, I've tried Blood Angels Red Contrast over white gold, and that's what I do for my Solar Auxilia, which ends up like this, if you are curious in an end result. Now, this is also with a matte varnish over this, and this has a satin varnish, so that may affect some things, but it's very desaturated compared to this one. So I want to see if I can get some vibrant red out of Blood Angels Red Contrast. That's the goal. But anyway, for my Kingdom of Khazad-dûm army, I brought Durin the 7th. So he's the last king of Khazad-dûm, and he's an absolute beast of a combatant and a character. Great, like, army buff abilities. Very tough. Puts out a lot of hurt. Like, he's really good. The worst thing about him is he has only a single fate point. Typically, characters who die in the setting only get a single fate point, which a fate point is like something you spend during the game when you take a wound. And and it gives you a 50-50 shot at ignoring that wound. So he only gets that once per game, where big characters like Aragorn or Gandalf get 3 points of fate because they're major characters and they live throughout the settings, so they don't get killed by anybody. But kind of the rule of thumb, at least. Not always that way, but that's typically how it works. So okay, yeah, there are three golds here. We'll put one more coat of this light bronze on this shoulder just to be sure it's nice and solid. Got half a Blood Bowl game in Friday night. Nice. And you had a local gaming feature. Dang, guys, tell me about it. Sounds like everybody was up in gaming. But I brought Durin, and I brought these dudes. They're called Khazad Guard, and they're like mithril armored. Maybe not quite mithril armored. They're very heavy dwarf armor, and they carry two-handed axes. And I upgrade them to what's called Hearthguard. So if they're with Durin, they can be upgraded. You paid extra points, and they basically wield their two-handed axes like they're one-handed axes, and it makes them super strong, very strong. I had a dude called the King's Champion, which is a guy with two one-handed axes, and he's followed around by two banner bearers that carry like big shields, which is another like really cool like old mini from GW from this setting. And what else? I brought a minor dwarf king, is what he's just a nameless dwarf king. I also took a ballista, so I had artillery, and I believe I was the only person in the tournament to bring artillery of any kind. The artillery almost did well. Almost. Yeah, and I brought a bunch of dwarf troops. So I think I had 32 models in my army, which is significant for that game when you knowing how many models in your army, because getting your army to 50% or to 25% of their numbers is a significant threshold and affects how games end, basically, and your army's courage and everything to stay in the fight. So very important stuff. It was cool. Yeah. That's really cool. Just all kinds of stuff going on at the convention. Very nice. Trader's Toll for 2 nights. Nice. I've never heard of that. Very cool. Nice. Well, I brought my army. There were, I think, 16 people. I want to say there were 16 people there that played, which was a good turnout. We had people from, I'm in Central Ohio. We had people from Michigan and Cincinnati come over. There were people from all over Ohio. I don't know if there's anybody else. I think there were 2 people from Michigan that drove down, and then I don't know if there's anybody else from out of state though. So it was a nice group. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, so I get my first matchup, and really funny first matchup. I matched against the one and only other Kingdom of Khazad-dûm army. So we had a mirror match. First round of the game, mirror match. Against the only other dwarf player, which was really funny. We thought it was funny. Well, it's I don't know, take 2 people out of 16 and you figure out however many people there are. And it wasn't like the TO matched us. He was using one of the apps, one of the big like tournament pairing apps or whatever, so it just paired us up. Yeah, it was actually kind of nice for a couple reasons. One, my opponent was also someone who had not played many games of this edition of Middle-earth. So it was good because we both had the same army, which meant we both had the same rules, so we didn't have to go in blind as to what our opponent's rules were, and we were able to help each other with our rules. So as we were kind of going through, and both like, oh, okay, yeah, well, I have this, and and we were going through. His army had a lot more numbers than me because he didn't bring a ballista, so that was the game. But unfortunately, what happened was, you guys may or may not know this about dwarves in just about any setting, but they're typically fairly slow on foot compared to many other races or factions in various games, and Middle-earth is no exception. Dwarves move slower. Neither of our army had any cavalry, and have, Khazad-dûm do not get the option for cavalry. They live under a mountain. And so what we did, and we both had quite a few minis in our army, so what ended up happening was, it was an objective that you had to basically get to your opponent's deployment zone, and there were 3 objectives in your opponent's deployment zone, and you had to get to them and basically destroy them, the objective, which is just, you sit on the objective for, a turn, and it gets destroyed. That is going to be a hard one for dwarves to win anyway, by the nature of them being so slow. But then we had 2 dwarf players, and what happened was we both kind of waddled to the middle, and we fought each other in like a little bit of a shield wall thing going on, and then our time was up. Both being pretty inexperienced players, we did not make it very far into our game. Neither of us made it to our 50% threshold, which is called breaking. If your army is broken, if it's below 50%, that's a significant point, and typically that gives up victory points to your opponent if your army's broken. And if your army remains unbroken, but your opponent's is broken, get additional points. You get points for wounding the enemy general and also killing the enemy general. You get points for having banners left on the board at the end of the game. So banner bears, like your standard bears and stuff, you get points for them being alive, and you get points for your opponent not having any alive. So there's like a lot of swings there. What this whole game came down to was I had 2 dudes with banners, and they're both part of one of my hero. It's like a weird like hero model that's 3 models, and they're 2 like super tough dudes with banners, and they run around or whatever. I had 2 with banners. He had 1 normal warrior that had a banner, and over that jar, I'm gonna put a second coat on there. I think I'll do a second coat to get the more vibrant red. That's what we're gonna do. So I had I kind of picked like a go turn basically, where I was like, all right, I'm going to do things on this part of the map. I had a hero, I got a good move, and I basically trapped his banner bear and killed his banner bear. And there are lots of things you can do with banners. You can pass banners on when your banner bear dies, but he wasn't able to, so he lost his banner. And that was the only point scored in the game. So there was nobody touched anybody else's objectives. We didn't make it far enough. We kind of blocked each other, and that was it. We didn't wound each other's generals. We actually had the same model as our general. We both had King Durin as our general. So it was a nice match because we were both kind of like warming up and like figuring out, the game and stuff. I got the upper end just by killing his banner bear, and that was literally it. That was the game. So I had it was like a 4 victory points to 0 match out of a maximum 20 or something. So it was 4-0 was that first match. Super nice guy. He had an incredibly painted army. They were all 3D prints from Medberry Miniatures, which was really cool. But yeah, it was a slow match that we both took our time. He was very cagey because I put my ballista where it could like fire on like 2 separate like big lanes, and he kind of avoided the one lane completely, and it worked out in my favor a lot because he didn't want to get hit with a ballista, which is understandable. Um, so yeah, yeah. So that's it saved me a lot of headache and allowed me to kind of concentrate my army other places and like stopped him up and like slowed his movement. My ballista did something really funny, and let me explain how ballista works. I gotta explain this because when you hear about the odds of the things that happen with artillery in this game, it's all ridiculous and they're never worth it. So to fire my ballista at somebody, it is an accurate piece of artillery. Yeah, I think it actually has a rule where it's like, I think it's accurate is its actual rule, or precision shots, I think, or something. So you fire this, and it's a a giant crossbow on a thing, and there's a guy's loading like a little metal shot into it, and they're slinging it at people. You have to roll to hit your target first. Okay, so just straight up hit roll, and it's a 4+ for my dwarves. I hit on a 4+. That's it. You just hit on a 4+. After you hit, artillery rolls a scatter. So the way you scatter, you roll a d6, and so you have your target. We have these guys clustered around here. Look, oh no, we got some soldiers. I'm shooting at this guy, so I target this guy. I roll and say I hit him. I roll a 4, 5, or 6, 50-50 odds. All right, then I roll another d6, and if I roll a 1, my opponent gets to pick another model or another model, friend or foe, or just a point on the board, and that's where it goes. So if it's just his models here and I hit him and then I roll a 1, he gets to just like pick an empty spot and then nothing happens. It misses. If I roll like a 2 to 5, I want to say it's a 2 to 5 basically, he has to pick another one of his own models within a certain distance. And since my artillery is accurate, it's 3 inches. So there's a 3-inch bubble where he has to pick another one of his models that actually gets hit with the artillery. Most artillery, that's a 6-inch bubble, which is crazy inaccurate. So I roll anything else besides a 1 or a 6, he picks a model and it's a different model. If I roll a 6 after that, over that scatter, then I hit the exact model I'm targeting. Okay, it takes all of that just to hit the model that you're targeting. So 4 followed by a 6, with the chance of hitting your own models or it scattering. If you hit behind a model, so I'm here and I'm shooting this way, you actually have to roll to go through it, and you could hit the guy in front of him, which is funny because it flings him back or whatever. But and then you have to roll to try to kill him. The best you can wound a model on this game is a 3. So there's like all these steps to go through just for like one big piece of artillery, just to see if you hit a model. So what happened in this game was I was firing pretty close to my Durin, my King Durin. He was in combat, and I was like, I got shot. This guy, I need to hit this guy. I shot at him with the ballista. I hit him. Sweet. And then I rolled like a 3, which meant that he got to pick a model, and it was an enemy model, one of his models. He had to pick one of his models that got hit with it. And what he did was he picked a dude that was behind King Durin. So then what happened was I had to see if I hit King Durin or if I hit the model behind him. And what ended up happening was I actually hit my own King Durin with my own ballista. And that ballista, if it ends up wounding Durin and he doesn't like save his fate point stuff, he just dies automatically. The ballista like instant kills people when it hits them, or if it wounds them. So I hit King Durin. Another fun thing is they fly back d6 inches. So he flew back, and they hit all the models they hit on the way back take damage. They take it like a strength 5 hit or whatever. So Durin gets hit with my own ballista. He flies back 6 inches and gets knocked on his butt. And in the process, he hits the guy behind him, and the guy takes a hit and dies. Like I straight up kill the dude. He just runs through him. getting hit with a lead shot. Durin then, I failed to wound my own Durin, so he just stands back up like nothing happened. Which I thought was incredible. Like, an incredible way for that whole thing to turn out was just... It's like he intended it to hit him and launch him so he could just pace the guy behind him and then just get up like nothing happened, because he's wearing mithril armor, you know, so he gets shot with a piece of artillery and he's good. That was really funny, because if he would have been wounded by that and died, my opponent would have beat me. And so I guess I took a big risk with that shot and was pretty stupid with it. That was funny. That was my first game. So first game was a lot of fun though. Like I said, super chill opponent. He's a really nice guy. My second game was against a guy playing bears. The Beornings. So anybody remember Beorn the bear? You know, from The Hobbit, the guy that transforms into a literal bear and starts like killing everybody and kills Bolg at the Battle of Five Armies, just like eats him. That guy. And there are stories and tokens writing about people that are like Beorn. I don't know if they're like children of his or whatever, that are like kind of bear people that live in the woods and everything, keep to themselves. So there's a whole army for that. So my opponent brought that army. And we played a scenario that was pretty brutal against me. We played on a map with a river, a big river going right in the middle of it. So, I'm talking about Middle Earth SPG tournament, Greenleaf. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome in though. So, we had a board, had a huge river in the middle of it, which I was never going to be able to cross. There were like 3 little bridges that I could get across if I needed to. I thought the river was going to be really good for me because I have a ballista, and the ballista will wreck the bear people. Like, I can one-hit kill one of the giant bears like Beorn, or any of the bear people. They all have 2 wounds, and it doesn't matter with the artillery. The artillery just kills them outright when it hits them. So it's like, sweet. He's going to have to come to me, and like, it's going to take him a minute to get to me, and like, it'll be really nice. I'll have the range out a few turns to shoot the ballista and maybe get a chance to kill something or two. It'll be nice. Get some archer shots. Good stuff. His troops aren't super tough. They just have a lot of wounds, so archers will be really good against him. Whole thing. Well, we end up playing in a mission where he starts halfway up the board. So that whole plan was just gone. Just immediately gone like that. So, so he gets priority the first turn. He takes it, and he transforms, because Beorn starts as like a man, and then he transforms into a bear. He had another dude called Grimbjorn or whatever. I don't know if it's like his son or his brother, so I have no idea. He also transformed into a bear. They start running at me. I fire my ballista at Beorn. I hit him. I roll a 6 to get a direct hit. I roll the 3 I needed to wound Beorn to potentially instant kill his like 300 point dude out of a 750 point game, like right off the bat. It'd be like game over right there if I killed Beorn. Well, unfortunately, Beorn has 3 points of fate. He just had to pass one of them, which is like a 50-50. He just needs a 4-up. So he rolls the first one, he passes it, and I was like, oh, like, man, after all of that, like, it was the perfect way to just end the game before it started, just killing Beorn on turn 1. He was also right up in my grill already, so like, that was the only shot my ballista got the whole game. But yeah, he ran in after me. He had the other bear on the other side, and I was like, okay, I'll focus on half his army, and then I'll come back for the other half if I have stuff left, you know, or just try to end the game there. I had another moment where I think going on super solid. Let's let me thin this a little bit. Let's just try to thin it a little bit. So I was fighting against the other bear, Grimbjorn. and I hit him with my King Durin, and I surrounded him with a bunch of warriors and stuff, or I thought I surrounded him. And when you surround a model and you beat it, like in local combat, you get chances to wound, and if you surround it, you double your attacks to wound. So I'm like, I'm gonna kill this bear in one turn. It's gonna be amazing. Well, he my opponent just kind of picked him up and moved him like he wasn't surrounded, and I was like, oh, he was surrounded. And he's like, no, he wasn't. And I was like, oh, like I thought I was trying to. I thought it was pretty clear I had him surrounded, and he's like, no, he's like, he had space to move out. And I was like, all right, like, sure. I had I had the movement and the ability to surround him, and I did in my head, and I didn't think it was like much of a question, because like that's the thing any player would do. But he said no, whatever. I hit him with everything. He lived with one wound left. So his other big bear dude lived with one wound left. And I was like, all right. Well, fortunately, the next turn, I attacked him. It was just like two of my cool like bodyguard Kazakh guard dudes attacking that bear, who should have killed both of them easily, and I won combat and killed him the next turn, which was pretty funny. But yeah, overall I struggled in that game because I was causing wounds to his bear people, but then I couldn't like finish the kill on them. All of these look good. I see there's a license. Just want to say hi. Have a great stream. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Lion Joker. You have a good one, man. Great to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good great weekend. There we go. Get Wargaming Atlantic miniatures. Saw them at my hobby store. I was wondering about quality. They look good, and their scales are cheaper than Warhammer. I had one set way back when, and they were okay. Yeah, they were fine. And they're plastic minis. I think their quality has gone up a lot over the years, because this was like 12, 13 years ago when I got these, so it was a while ago. But yeah, I'd say try them out. They're cheap, and you get a ton of skeletons in that set. I know what set you're talking about. Bright gold looks pretty good. Which one was this? I don't remember which one. That's probably the bronze. That looks a little too bright. That one, just like that, looks really good. That's the rich gold, I believe. Okay. Let's keep messing with this a little bit. So, continuing on with that game, I wasn't killing things nearly fast enough. I was dying really quick. He ended up running Beorn, the one bear he had left, into combat with stuff. I surrounded him. No, I didn't. Did I surround him? Yeah, I surrounded him with a bunch of stuff. I beat him in combat, which is something that wouldn't normally happen on like averages. And then I did like 5 wounds to him. And he had 2 points of fate left, and he had like a 6-up feel no pain basically. And he ended up passing 1 6-up feel no pain, and then passed both of his fate points, and he lived with 1 wound. Like, seriously? Like that? All of that, and you know, he lives with 1 wound. Like, should have been dead. And then the game ended basically because I was quartered. My army was quartered, and I got kind of crushed. I got 1 point for wounding his general, who was Beorn. That was all I got. You have skeletons next time you have the money. Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah, skeletons are always great. Yeah, I'm messing with Thousand Sun Scouts. I'm messing with some contrast to see if I can figure out what makes a good, like, easy substitute for painting my Thousand Suns red here. That's what we're doing right now. A handy exercise, but also I definitely will be using that knowledge here on these scouts at least, because I didn't want to spray them red and then do everything else. So if I can use something easy like contrast to paint some Thousand Suns, that'd be nice. be more helpful with the tanks, I think. So I lost my second game of the tournament, which was all right. The guy was super nice. We had the one little disagreement where I probably should have just, like, you know, this is like where that playing by intent goes, where I should have been like, hey, I'm surrounding this guy. And it'd probably be like, oh yeah, I see. And then it would have never been a question, right? If I would have done that, or if I moved a guy, like, you know, half an inch further around the base to, like, finish the little, like, surround on the big like monster base or whatever, that would have been totally fine. But I didn't, and that is what it is. As far as my third game, so my third game was funny. I got paired up against Killicam, the one and only, the dude that convinced me to go to the tournament in the first place, and I played my practice games against him. It was funny. We both had a 1-1 record, and we got paired against each other. Historically, with the practice games that we have had, I think I have another black wash, right? This one's empty. Oh my goodness! Hold on. I should have a black wash in here. That might be in my bag. 1 second, guys. 1 second. There it is. Got it. Killed a can. Yeah. It was kill a cam. Buddy cam. So we matched up against each other. He was playing Uruk-hai. He was actually playing, it's called the Muster of Isengard. And he has Saruman and Grima. And then he fields a whole bunch of Uruk-hai Berserkers, which, if you're not familiar with Middle-earth, you might not know exactly who the Berserkers are, but long story short, you see them twice in significance in the Two Towers. Once, they're the dudes on top of the ladders that the Uruk-hai put up on the walls. The unarmored dudes that just have, like, the chainmail, like, loincloth. And the giant, like, two-handed swords, you just, like, cut elves down around them. There's also a berserker who carries the torch that lights the bombs under the deeping wall. That's a berserker. So, berserkers in this game they're really good. They're super elite Uruk-hai. That's kind of their thing. They have, you know, extra attacks, which is a big deal in the game, and they're tough. They have like basically a 6-up feel no pain. They collect blood and skulls for a special angry guy. They actually put blood in their helmets and then put it over their heads to, like, make them go crazy, but no corn worshipping on these berserkers. They're Uruk-hai berserkers. So he has a ton of berserkers. That's kind of his army, and like some Uruk-hai pikemen and stuff, and some crossbows that never do anything. But we played, and of all the games we played, this one was probably the most straightforward of our matchups. And we basically just kind of lined up and marched at each other with just a little bit of terrain feature, kind of changing up, I guess, how we meet. So dilute this black. I'm seeing if my same process will work on these colors or if I just keep them how they are. That's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, we lined up, we marched at each other. He destroyed my ballista. Grima's like a troll, and he could just pick a piece of artillery and destroy it. But then I killed him. So that was that. Which I was happy Grima died early, because he has other weird rules. If he just walks around with your army and he can't be attacked, and he makes your heroes worse, like makes them all sad and stuff. But yeah, our lines hit, and I just started winning fights and killing stuff. And that was literally how the game went. And it was like 3, maybe 4 turns of us just like fighting, like our line just fighting each other. And then his army was at 25%. He was quartered and the game was over. And at the end of the match, he actually got 0 points out of it, and I got like 13 or something, which was a really good result for me, obviously, not for him. Which is much more one-sided than any of our practice games went. That was definitely not what I was expecting. And okay, Guardian, how you doing? Welcome in. I'm gonna mark these. This one. That one? No, that was one of the golds, wasn't it? Darn it, I can't remember who's who now. Rohit. Yeah, it was in the mid 80s here today. It was really nice. We went for a walk. Had like a good day as a family together. So 94 yesterday. Wow. Yeah, the red testing is going well. It's going very well. I think this one was our bronze. Can't believe I didn't mark these before. I thought it'd be easier to tell, but I think this one was the bronze. So let's mark this with bronze here. Which I might be liking. It's darker than the others, which is really nice. This one was rich gold, not bronze. Which is also very nice. LeBron's James, yes. Yep, thank you. Thank you. So if we come back to these colors, we try to match up here. These might do better. That one's really good, actually. Color scheme used for Inductii, if you have any. I don't have any specific painted Inductii. Oh, that one's really good too. That one's really nice. It's like just not quite as warm. Would that one actually be the one that we want here? Maybe without the black wash, it might be different, but that might be our color here. We're trying to make it more simple. Might be it. Okay. So with all that tournament stuff, I ended up in 6th place out of 16. Not thrilled, but I was like, if I win one game, I'll be okay. I win 2 games, I'll be happy. I won 2 games, and I'm cool with that. So, I won 2 games, and the guy who beat me, my opponent who beat me this time, I beat in the last tournament. So that was the last time we played, was in the last tournament that I won. So we're even now, I guess. So I don't feel bad. I know I can win. Just do I win at that point? Yeah. So it was good. 6th place. What was weird was I didn't like bring home anything, and I didn't have any trophies or gift cards or anything that I won, being very middle of the pack. So it was unfortunate to not win any fun things. Start to look fairly similar. I think I kind of like the vibrant red of the rich gold. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to test it. We're going to do just a little test. Thin it a little bit. I do have two little bits of news for you guys. My desk, get off my desk hand. The first bit of news is the next couple weeks are going to be possibly a little weird for my streaming schedule. So this week I have basically a contractor coming out to my house to do some work, and they're coming out on Thursday, right in the middle of my stream time. So I may just not stream Thursday morning. There's a chance I might do an evening stream or something. I might make it up, but no promises on that. I can't make any promises on streaming on Thursday. So that's gonna be weird. The other thing is that there is a YouTube video coming out tomorrow, and my Patreon members should already know about it. They got a message about it earlier and have been able to watch it, but this is something slightly different from what I've been releasing on YouTube, only just. But if you're a fan of Horus Heresy, then I don't know, you might enjoy the video. It's an hour long. I'd say if you're a fan of the Horus Heresy game, 3rd edition, you should hopefully find some entertainment in this, or enjoyment, or knowledgeable things, or whatever. I don't know. What's up, Star Laser? How you doing? if I can get just two little videos out a week, it'd be nice. But this was one that I was just Friday. I was doing different things. Like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna try to make this video, and so I recorded it in an hour, and then edit thing, and had it ready to go. And I was trying to find a good time frame, so I figured Monday would be a good time to put it out to everybody. So if you don't mind checking it out, giving it a watch. New shower soap holder since I got married. It's like 20 years. It finally broke. Too stubborn. Plastic glue. Hopefully it's the right kind of plastic. Plastic glue doesn't work on everything. Tired. Cincinnati took it out of you. What were you doing in Cincinnati? Hey Troy, what's going on? Nice, alright. Getting minis, that's really cool. Weekend getaway. Oh cool, where'd you guys go? What'd you do? Did you go to the Children's Museum in Cincinnati? It's incredible. It's in an old train station. It is, it's pretty amazing. We went there like 2 years ago, maybe. Trying to figure out what's what on these minis. Looks awful right now, though. We did, yeah. Right, John Lockridge, I 100% agree. It's an absolutely gorgeous building. And it just made me think, like, we used to make stuff like this as, like, public works. It's almost unbelievable with just how amazing that place is, yeah. It's cool, the Children's Museum's, like, underground and everything. It's great. That's fun. Let's get his, like, he's got like bracers on. I assume will be this color here. Not sure what I'm painting other colors yet, so this is all just kind of like a test. Not like it's some mass experiment, but mess around and see what looks good. I want to put blue somewhere on these minis, because snipers and scouts are part of a very specific cult in the Thousand Sons in this era called the Order of the Blind. The Order of the Blind is the spies and scouts and recon dudes and all of that, the assassins. So they are the ones that originally had that Thousand Sons blue color in their armor. Not sure why everybody switched to that or when they switched to that, but Order of the Blind were the first. Build some glass and concrete abomination. Yeah, yeah, so they could resell it, right? Anyone would use it. That's hilarious, John Lockridge. We did the same thing like a couple summers ago. Yeah, we stayed at a hotel right by Newport Aquarium, and then before we went home, we went to the Children's Museum in Cincinnati, then went home. In a Hofbrauhaus. They have a Hofbrauhaus in Columbus, and I had a company. I worked at a German company, and they would like freak out about like, oh yeah, we're German, so we're gonna get a Hofbrauhaus. It was fine. So the place, Columbus has like a big like German population and everything. So we have Hofbrauhaus, which I didn't realize there were multiples. I bet you are, John. I bet you are. Where's Zen? Needing to see this. There's a specific place that Arnold Schwarzenegger likes to eat in Columbus, and it's called Schmidt's Sausage House, which is fantastic food. But apparently, according to Germans, it is not German food. They say it's Austrian food, and they think it is no good, which is hilarious to me, that they're like super judgmental about the Austrian food, which to me tastes the same. I don't know the difference. I don't know the subtle differences, but there's another German restaurant in Columbus that German people actually like to eat at, and like that's their preferred place. But so you say however you want to say it, man. That's cool. That sounds like a fun weekend. Sounds like a stressful weekend, but. Okay, we're gonna try this. Let's try this red. We'll truck down to Scioto County Fair. Yeah, dude. Okay, this is so random. In my little town, okay, there's a little hardware store. You know, like little towns always have like a little tiny little hardware store or whatever. So, I went to the hardware store one day, and it was just a random afternoon. And I was going to get isopropyl alcohol from my printer because that hardware store sells isopropyl cheaper than like Amazon or like online or whatever. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get some isopropyl. So I go get my isopropyl, and as I get there, I see the Schmidt's like food truck on the curb, like outside the hardware store. I was like, this is so random. Like in the middle of here, like there's no one visiting the thing. It's just there and on and open. They got a sign out, you know, and like they're just sitting there in the downtown of this tiny little town and in front of a hardware store selling sausages. So I left the hardware store and I totally bought a what did I get? I think I just got a bratwurst. I think that's just what I got. I didn't get anything crazy, but oh, it's so good. So good. Expensive because it's a food truck, but what's going on, Estrello? What is going on? Yeah, the Bahama Bomb is good. Yeah. We're doing something, guys. We're trusting the process is what we're doing here, alright? You could just 7 brew twice. I have never heard of that. Couple coats. I'm doing thinner, somewhat thinner coats on here. It's been a long time since I've used contrast like contrast. Actually made printed first Trench Crusade terrain. Oh yeah, with your bamboo. Nice. I think my printer might be in tomorrow or Tuesday. It's currently in state. Must be nice to be rich going to 7 Brew twice. Oh man. Not too concerned about mistakes right now, partially because I'm just trying things, but also first color. Up later if we need to. Thinning this Blood Angel's red down just the tiniest bit helps it flow so much better. Makes it so much more even. Whereas my little test shoulders I did over there were starting to look a little splotchy. The get-go. Weird layer lines on the top. Post it in 3D printing, asking. Okay. Yeah, Zen's the dude who would know. If it has like a rounded top or something, you're just gonna get that. You need to like just get a tool to either like sand it down or whatever, shape it if you're worried about it. The head. Oh yeah, okay. That is an appropriate Trench Crusade piece, I guess. Okay. 1 coat of red. Escape Jungle Gyms. Oh, you went to Jungle Gyms? Okay, nice. I have never been there. We didn't go there. We're down in Cincinnati last. Yeah, Estrella, that's just 3D printing, dude. That's just FDM. Yeah. Miracle Whip or Mayo? Mayo? What do I buy at the store? I don't eat mayo often. So, yeah, it's Hellmann's. Hellmann's is what I usually buy. Yep. Tuvon, welcome in. You know, my favorite way to use mayo is for French fries. Dipping French fries in mayo is legit. All right, so was it Veritech in Discord was asking about Detroit and Chicago pizza and stuff? He 7-layer salad. Oh dang, that man. Mr. Carolina's here with his 7-layer salad. What are the layers of a 7-layer salad? I need to know. I've heard of 7-layer dip, but that's like a Mexican thing or Tex-Mex thing. So Veritech mentioned Jet's Pizza. I've never had Jet's Pizza. There's Jet's Pizzas relatively close to me. Like, I'd be willing to drive there. I'm the only one that would eat Jet's Pizza in my family, but I decided that on my birthday, which is this upcoming Saturday, for dinner, I want to get Jet's Pizza. Because their pizza looks incredible. And the topping choices look incredible. So I might be getting myself a popcorn buffalo chicken pizza. I'm going to spend my birthday evening feeling like garbage. Hey, thank you too, Vaughn. I appreciate that. Big 36 this year. Lettuce, peas, onion, brown. No. No, Mydral, don't. That's not real. It's not the onion that I'm worried about on that. Do you... I can't even fathom how that works. It sounds so bad. That's why it has a name. It's so good. Brown sugar with peas, lettuce, onion, mayo, cheese, and bacon. Yeah, I ate some weird things. I ate a lot of weird things. That has gotta be like steps too far. Yeah, please post a picture. So I just looked it up and I see a picture and I see people putting... Okay. Are these... They don't look like hard-boiled. Maybe it is hard-boiled. Hard-boiled eggs. Why? You guys okay down there? You guys, where does the brown sugar go? I'm looking at this and I can't see, like... Where are you putting brown sugar on this thing? Dressing. Sure, people are putting sugar in a mayonnaise dressing. Sprinkle on which layer? That makes it just it's confusing. Are you putting sugar on lettuce? Hydro. Oh man, that's wild. That is wild. I have never heard of such a thing. Wait, hold on. Dude, you avoid the strawberry jello whip thing. But you'll eat this. I mean, it's got cottage cheese, so it's got to be a good source of protein, right? Like, that's what the one dude says. Seven-layer salad. It's wild. I will totally make ice cream using cottage cheese, though. Like, that's cool. I got my ninja creamy. Makes me viscerally angry just looking at it. Oh my gosh, jeez. I personally think the weirdest dish that I like, I guess, enjoy. I've never made this. It's something my mom makes. And she's made it since I was a kid. And my family, so my mom, my dad, my brothers, we love it. Like, whenever I visit my parents, it's like the one request I have for a meal is to have this as like a side for a meal. We call it, my mom always called it wilted lettuce. That's what she called it. It's not actually, it's like not like old lettuce. That's not what it is. Wow, the wind is crazy outside. I swear, if it's another tornado, I'm gonna be really upset. Rather not have one of those hit the house. But she'll make wilted lettuce, and what it is, you take. She makes bacon in like a pan. You have to make it in a pan because you need the grease. And then you use some of the leftover grease, and you make a dressing with some of the bacon grease and like a lot of like red wine vinegar and stuff, and like red onions. And you crush up the bacon, you put it with the dressing, and then she'll put spinach usually, or you can do like a green like leaf lettuce or something, and maybe like cucumber. You do a few others, and you pour that dressing on top of it. But the dressing's hot. The thing is, the dressing's like cooked in the pan and it's hot, and you pour it over the lettuce, and you mix it, and the spinach starts to like wilt a little. You know, like spinach does when it gets hot, where it starts just like, I guess, wilt or whatever. It's so good. Yeah, it's so good. It is. All three. So my wife and my two sister-in-laws hate it. They can't understand. They can't like wrap their minds around like who would eat such a thing. Um, None of our kids like it. It's so good. It's vinegar and bacon and like, yeah, it's good. It's really good. I can totally understand that it's like a nostalgia thing, you know, but sugar helps the Miracle Whip or mayo turn into a dressing. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, the pores. Yeah, yeah, that's probably what that was. It's just poor people food, right? That was me growing up. Sugar with mayo sounds like sounds so much worse than cottage cheese and ice cream, though. You post a picture, okay. Okay. I have had fancy ice cream that's been goat cheese ice cream. That's just a picture you found on the internet. No, my draw, honestly, the picture you show there doesn't look bad. No, that's something I would try if it were made by someone I trusted. If it were one of my extended family, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. If like my wife made this or something, I would try it. I'd try it. I'd probably end up liking it. All right. Um, the goat cheese ice cream I had, it was goat cheese in the ice cream with strawberry. It was strawberry and goat cheese. It was made by who's the Jenny's ice cream. Jenny's ice cream was from they're from Columbus, which they've had a lot of issues, over a couple years with like listeria and stuff. But before they were really big, they're known for just like they make the weirdest flavors, like crazy flavors of ice cream. And we would always go there, and we would get Queen City Cayenne. That was our favorite. And Queen City Cayenne was a chocolate ice cream with cayenne pepper, like dry cayenne pepper in it, like just like the powder stuff, basically. So you would eat it, and it was like this super cool and like rich chocolate ice cream, and then it would just turn spicy. It was the wildest sensation with ice cream. But I went there once and I ordered goat cheese. It was like goat cheese strawberry ice cream or strawberry goat cheese ice cream. And yeah, it was like goat cheese, like soft, right? It's almost like a cream cheese texture, but there was goat cheese in the ice cream. It was very pungent. Goat cheese is very strong. Mommy sends you packages of Creole cabbage and beef. Your favorite meal is just ground beef and cabbage mixed with shredded carrots and Creole spices. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. It's the tall ones. It's not what we make. Okay. If Mydro made it, it's getting yeeted in the river. Yeah. I don't trust if Mydro made it. I mean, okay. Mydro, John Lockridge, both of you, I guarantee both of you have been to enough potlucks in your life where you understand, like, I will trust random meemaw with baking cookies or a cake. I'll eat that, But when it's some weird casserole and you don't know what's in it or beneath the layers, and you see bacon sitting on top of mayonnaise, you're not diving into that to just eat it when you don't know who made that, right? If it's a friend of yours that like came over to your house, and they tell you about it and like all that stuff, and they're not like living in complete filth or something, right? It's good to try. Is that just me? That can't just be me. We used to do Thanksgiving at my grandma's house, and she was a fantastic cook. She would she loved cooking for us and stuff, but she would prepare a bunch of sides and everything, and she would make a broccoli casserole. Yeah, you learn what's what. Yeah, the church potlucks. Yeah, you know who makes what. Yeah, word gets around, right, when things are good. Yeah. But my grandma, she would make it was a broccoli casserole. I would never touch it as a kid because it looked weird, and I'm not eating that. My parents would eat it. Well, one thing my mom never liked to eat, because she did not grow up poor, so she never had to like she was allowed to be picky when she was a kid. She never ate like chicken liver or like organ meat. It was never something she ate. I never have either, so I don't have anywhere to talk on this, but she found out one year that my grandma would use chicken liver in her broccoli casserole, not tell anybody, and my mom was so mad about it because she would eat it, and she was so mad about it. Is she like going to the bait shop to pick up chicken livers? I don't know. Fantastic red sweet pickle relish. Pickle relish at this, yeah. Nice, okay. That's really cool, Troy. Yeah, yeah. A red sweet pickle relish. That's crazy. I'm not usually a fan of pickle relish either. I do like pickled onions, or just like pickles in general, I guess. But it's really cool. Glad you found something good. Livers and gizzards by the handful. Yeah, I bet. I bet. Broccoli rice casserole calls it green rice. Family recipe from a grandma. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Uh, my wife's favorite meal growing up, and we used to make this all the time, but she can't really eat anything from it at the moment just because of her like weird allergies that developed. But it was a cheesy chicken and broccoli casserole, and it was very specific. All right, I don't know how to say how Midwest this is. So you would basically bake chicken, or I found out, you skill the chicken, you brown it, and then you finish baking it, but just chicken breast, and you make a casserole. Like the sauce is, let me see, was it cream of chicken soup? So it's probably been 8 or 9 years since I've made this or had it. Cream of chicken soup, and you would mix some other things in with it. And then you would also mix jars of Cheese Whiz. Like, had to be Cheese Whiz. There's no other cheese that would work. But you could just buy jars of Cheese Whiz. And you would put broccoli in there, and you'd roast the broccoli with it too. But yeah, that's what you would combine. You would bake that all together. And then you would serve it over white rice. It was so good. It sounds so bad. But yeah, it's one of those where it's cheese and chicken and broccoli. I'm hungry, guys. What are you doing to me? What is this 7-layer salad nonsense that doesn't sound like revolting now? Is that dry? Okay, we're gonna try this. I'm gonna do like a second take here on the wash. I need to learn how to make wilted lettuce one of these days. Open. Yep. This just need like a third coat. This is much brighter. I'm not eating for like another 12 hours, guys. Due to me. Okay, so as a test, this is very bright. Oh, I need to get his bracers. I keep forgetting to get these bracers. I think my issue is I need another coat. Blood Angels are... I think the layer turned out well, though. It's relatively even if you just put the tiniest bit of flow improver with this contrast medium, but this is like that's way off. It's nice vibrant red though. Oh, another bit of news here. This is for anybody who's a current Patreon member. This is very important. If you have the opportunity to be at the Hangout this Wednesday, I highly recommend it. We are going to watch the preview show, the GW preview show together. So that's going to be a fun thing to do. However, I'm going to recommend, if you can, get in the chat before the preview show. This is going to sound weird. So one of the things we do in our Hangout is we share like random stories about our week and like the weird things that happen in our week and stuff, and our funny stories or whatever. Yesterday I was at this tournament and Zendral was messaging me on Discord. He's like, hey, do you have a minute to talk? Can I talk to you for a minute? I was like, no, I'm at a tournament, dude. I can talk to you later. He's like, no. He's like, I gotta tell you. So he sends me like a 3-minute voice message on Discord. And he tells me the story. I don't listen to it until I get home from the tournament. So it's like 7 p.m. and I'm listening to this message. Like, I'm still like processing everything from this story. It is so wild, absolutely wild. I think you guys are gonna want to. He's so excited to tell this story on Wednesday to everybody. It is incredible. It is an absolutely incredible story that I feel like you guys should be here for. So we gotta tell the story before the stream starts. So I don't want to interrupt the stream just for the story, but incredible story. It's worth Patreon membership alone, honestly. Unfortunate that's too bright. What if I can dry this so I can just put another layer of Blood Angels Red on top? Yeah, it's crazy how just an extra layer of Blood Angels Red really changes these colors. Call, what did you miss? If you can, Mydro, the 8:30 start at the Hangout on Wednesday, I highly recommend, if you can be there, to be there, because yeah, Zen has a story that like is the craziest thing, and it's like a part 2 of a story that we were talking about. I think it was just this past week. I was sharing with you guys some like weird Discord thing going on, and there's a next part to that story that is like he shared a voice message with me, and every sentence he was saying I would have never guessed in a million years, like based on the previous one. It just got weirder and weirder. It takes a bit to get. Okay. I miss good stuff.
Look at me!
Hey, Shiny Mew. Where would you like me to look? Is it in finished projects? Perhaps? No? Where are we looking? Finished? In gaming. Are you in my Discord, Shining You Paints, or is this in someone else's Discord? Is this in Crucial Blues Discord? Oh, video games. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. Oh, okay. What is this? Like a VR mech game? Iron Rebellion and you're the pilot. Okay. That looks like VR. Is that VR? That's definitely VR, right? A VR mech game seems like a dream come true for people. Nice. Very cool. Good deal. Love it. Just destroying random people's mechs. I see. Wish this would dry so I can get another coat of this right on here. Steel Battalion. I can't think of like a mech game that I really played or got into. Yeah, I don't know. With half cockpit, you have no idea. I don't know anything about mechs or all the different mech games or anything. I have no idea. Yeah, three coats over this. It's good to know. Oh dang! Wow, he had like a whole crazy console. Wow, that's wild. That's pretty legit though. Off to bed. Yeah, no problem, John. Thanks for coming to hang out. Good to see you. Hopefully I'll see you on Tuesday. I'm back on streaming, guys. There's a YouTube video tomorrow that's going up. If you're a Heresy 3.0 enjoyer, I hope you like this one. Mech blew up. You didn't eject. They perma-died? Wait, what? The whole, like, controller system died? No way. How would that be economical to sell those? All the in-game pilot character. Okay, I was about to say, like, geez. The whole system just shuts down. Like, it just catches fire. gotta say, I think if nothing else from tonight with this painting is accomplished, I think we learned that can make kind of a budget red color in contrast. Very important. Very important lesson to learn. I eventually want to try the Vallejo True Metallic Metals, but they're not really available around me. So I have tried airbrushing contrast, yeah. Yep. Yeah, and if I were to do something like this, like if I wanted to paint a Space Marine with this red and tried out to make a match, I think airbrushing is what I would do, just because it's faster and I would do the entire mini. Just the better way to do it. But something like this Scout, I'm not going to airbrush this Scout. I didn't necessarily want the red to be the main focus on this mini. You know, if I can somehow get something, if you know, to look exactly the same using contrast paint as opposed to clear paints, that means fewer coats of paint, less expense, and no weird dry times or activation issues, reactivation issues. And that would fix a whole lot of headaches. So that's better. That had the weird black wash on it, which might affect a little bit, but there we're getting a better color. Yeah, my Drave a good one. I think it's getting about time for me too. It's late and I am tired and I need to be up early. So we messed around with some red today. Just trying to see if I can find an easier method to paint a similar red. End up with a similar result if I can stop dropping this mini. And I think it's possible. I think Blood Angel's red contrast is the color we use. But you know, maybe next time we try Flesh Tear's red because it's darker and maybe it's fewer coats. Yeah, airbrushing or just multiple coats is the way to go. Or blue shoulder pads or something would be good on these guys. But anyway, I think we're in a good spot with that. That is That is remarkably similar as it dries. It's really good. A little brighter there, but that shoulder in particular. Good comparison. A little lighter. Huh. Well, good deal. That was fun. I like learning things. Sometimes I like learning things, not all the time, but I think, guys, I think I'm gonna call it tonight. I'm pooped. Busy weekend. I will be on Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't think I'll be on Thursday. However, keep an eye out for some YouTube videos this week. I think there's going to be. I'm gonna try to get 2 videos out this week if I can make it happen. So look out for that. I appreciate any amount of watch time or likes or subscribes you can give me on YouTube. That would be incredible, and try to help me get that closer to its little monetization dealy on YouTube, and help that to, I don't know, give me literal pennies. But you guys have a wonderful evening, and I hope you all have a great Monday, and I will see you all on Tuesday. Bye, everybody.